Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. In today's video, we're back in the Chamonix State Park. Obviously, we're in my favorite place, the garden. And I'm just going to be giving you some updates on what's going on here in the garden as it prepares for the cooler weather that's coming up. And we're going to walk around the park a little bit, and I'm going to show you some areas that I will be doing future videos on, further investigations. Some ideas I've had. I've been here a lot lately, and I've been going around the entire park. And I've been looking into the wooded areas, and there's some places I want to check out, some rumors that I heard about possibly where the one-day camp was, which isn't far from here, just on the other side of those trees over there. And maybe we'll go into the woods a little bit, because I did spray some deep woods off on me, so, you know, I don't have to worry about ticks or anything like that. But anyway, let's go check it out. So of course we're working our way from the chessboard where I started the video, and we will eventually end up over at the cold frame, the raised bed garden, whatever you want to call it. And the wisteria bush, obviously doing well. It's got a lot of little sprouts underneath it that I guess came from all the different seed pods that were on here. I did plant a seed pod or two from this over somewhere. I'm not going to say where because I don't want anybody to know, but I'm hoping it takes, and we'll see what happens. The phlox plant right here, it's still alive. It's got one cluster, like one bud that never bloomed, but we're definitely going to be moving this into the cold frame. It didn't do very well out here, and somebody kind of trampled on it, so we'll put it back in there with all the other plants. You can see it's been mowed just recently, we'll say in the last week or so. The hostas are, well, some of them are doing well, some of them look a little sun-soaked. But this is, I guess this is what they do, because I've seen them in people's yards that are doing this as well. But all the little seed pods are still on there for these guys, as you can see. And then we'll go over here to the columbines. You can see that the two columbines are doing very well. The hosta is in between the two, and we'll get a closer look here. So here's the columbine on the left. You know, you can see that the leaves are doing a lot better than they used to back when those leaf miners were here. And the one on the right, if I could get this thing to, there we go. Sometimes I have to talk to the gimbal for it to respond to me. I don't know why. Not really. But anyway, you can see that one's doing well too. These two, though, pale in comparison to the columbine that's in the raised bed garden, which they all went in at the same time. But that thing got very lush, very huge. So I can't wait to see the flowers that grow on that next year. So let's go check those out. And this time I'll start off on the side closest to the main gate where Humpty Dumpty is. So here's the nasturtiums. They're doing very well. They actually, for a little while, were looking a little bleak, but then they popped back again. So we'll get a little overhead shot. You can see those. We have this other coneflower down here. The coneflowers are all going Betty bye, it would seem. Anyway, here we have the bee balm on this side, doing well. And then there is the columbine on this side. I mean, look at how bushy that got. I mean, those flowers are going to be like crazy on there, and I cannot wait. In the front here, we have another coneflower, also going Betty bye. And the phlox in the back, it did get one more bloom in it before it decided to start going to sleep itself. The black-eyed Susan, same situation as the coneflowers and the phlox. There's a phlox in the back there, which never did rebloom after it got a little attacked by deers, and we had to nip some of the stuff off. Another coneflower looking pretty sad there. Hopefully when that comes back next year, hopefully it looks a lot better. The red cardinal flower, all the red flowers are gone off of it now. I assume those stalks up top will probably fall off. I don't know though, because I've never really raised or been part of raising a red cardinal flower, so maybe I'm wrong. maybe they'll just rebloom again next year. And then we have these things down here, which I, again, don't know what they're called. I keep meaning to ask the other volunteers, and I always forget. We have another cone flower in the middle there, also going Betty by, as well as the one in the cage. We have phlox in the back. The other phlox, which was by itself, excuse me, which was by itself over by the one hosta, that got attacked by deer quite regularly, but still seems pretty green, so I have hopes for that when it comes back. The two black-eyed Susan plants here, again, all the flowers are pretty much gone. It's just the middle part of the flower left and the dead petals, but they will be back next year. These two bee balm doing very well. I mean, they haven't had flowers on them in quite a while, but the plant itself is doing very good. And the nasturtiums over here, obviously doing very well, and they do have some flowers on them too. See if you could see them through the leaves there. One right there. It's got a bunch of them in the within the leaves there, but all in all, this is all doing very well, and I'm happy with it. And we still have lots to go. And I forgot to show you the ferns over there, but they don't look any different than they normally do. They're doing well. And the only thing that really needs attention in here is the grass squares back there. I've showed you in previous videos that they're not doing all that well, like they're balding. But a lot of that we suspect has to do with the fact that this area gets a lot of shade, and we think that the grass that we were given was more so meant for full sun. But that's okay. That's okay. I've been told that it's actually, despite the mishap, that it's actually a good base to then put some seed down. And we did put some down. We'll probably put more down before we get the first frost. Hopefully long enough before we get the first frost that it starts growing. And then one of the maintenance team told me that we should put hay down over top of it to further protect it from the harsh cold of winter. So we'll probably wind up doing that too. So as I've made mention before, the top of the sundial is now back. And as you can see, there's a little baggie here with a little piece of yarn on it. This is a little piece of crocheted artwork that someone continues to do, and they're putting throughout the entire park. Like, you could find it hanging on a tree, you can find it in a lot of different places. And they have a little card with it, and I'll read that to you. It says, "If found and I made you smile, please take me home. This little crochet gift is especially for you. It carries happy thoughts in case you're feeling blue. Sometimes life is hard, but burdens we can share with random acts of kindness to show that someone cares." So they want you to take a photo with it, and please share the photo to Random Acts of Crochet Kindness on Facebook. And there's a little QR code there. So if you find these things, make sure you take a picture of yourself with it and send it to their Facebook. So yes, I gave them a little shameless plug. I have no idea who they are. I haven't even looked into them, but I will now. So this set of stairs that's just here, right off of one of the trails, I've shown in a few different videos, earlier videos we'll say, and I found out what these were, because I knew that this was not part of the Logan's property over here, so that it had to be something unrelated. Turns out that these were the steps that went up to a German club that used to be here. So, you know, I have looked around in there before, not too intensely, because again, I didn't know what it was at the time, but now that I know that, I'll be looking around in there and seeing if there's any remnants of the building or anything like that. Would be cool. Any bit of history I can get is always good history, right? Also, do keep in mind that this weekend coming up, the very first weekend of October, hunting season will be opening for deer hunting with bow and arrow, or crossbow, I think they allow, I'm not sure. But it will be starting this weekend. So when you come here, just to be on the safe side, make sure you're wearing bright colors. So right now I'm cutting through a path that I normally do not go up or down. There's a lot of these little thin paths that are all through the park, so you can go into the different wooded areas, but it's within this particular wooded area that probably more so up that way, even though you can't really see anything past the trees, that they believe that one of the day camps was at. Now, I don't know if this was Summerdale Day Camp or if it was the other one, because it was said that there was two. Again, I'm just going off of what I've heard, not what I know from research. I know for sure that Summerdale Camp was within the property lines of Neshaminy State Park. And to find any remnants of that would be amazing. As I've said before, and a lot of people who are like my age and younger probably don't know the name Gene London, but in this camp is where Gene London grew up. His uncle owned that camp. He grew up without his parents, and his uncle helped raise him. So he grew up working in the camp for his uncle, and that's where he honed his skills for drawing and telling stories. And he had a children's show. It was back in the 60s. It might have been the 50s too, I'm not sure. But that's exactly what he did. You know, he told stories, he did drawings, he even did a few shows from the camp. But it's somewhere, again, probably more so on this side, but for all I know, it could have stretched from there and continued on down here. Because down here somewhere, there's a small group of trees that just, they don't look like they belong there, like they weren't native. There's no other trees like that around them. Now, those particular trees, I think, are also on the side of the garden, and were probably planted there by the Logans. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get down and dirty and get into these woods when the foliage is a little less and I can actually see what I'm looking at. Although all of this may not seem all that exciting right now, because it just looks like an overgrown forest, you know, and I get that. But there is tons of history in this place. It's just a matter of finding it all. And I intend on finding as much of it as I can. Okay, wandering down another side trail. This one's a little wider, so I guess it's more traveled. But I'm trying to see if this will line me up with those trees I was talking about that look like they have no business being there. It's just, it's hard for me to navigate using these little side trails, but I rarely take them, so I thought I'd bring you guys along while I explore. Okay, so it took some doing. I had to go around on some main trails, found my way to this area, and this right here would be the tree, one of the three that I was talking about. I don't know what kind it is, but there really is no trees like this growing around in here. This may not even be the same kind that's on the side of the garden that I was mentioning. And just look how thick the base is here. I mean, that's at least twice the width of me. And then there's other ones, like even behind it, this kind of tree. I think that's actually the, oops, sorry, didn't realize I wasn't pointing at it. I was looking around at the tree. I think that's actually the same type of tree. It's just not as old as this one. And then there's two more back that way. You can see the bases of them. So, you know, it's possible, like this could have been like the main area of one of the day camps, and they just had these trees, you know, growing for decoration, make it look more woodsy or whatever. But they're definitely some type of like a pine or something, or not a pine, I don't know. Looks like a Christmas tree to me. Again, not a horticulturalist, so I'm not going to pretend that I am. But you can see It's the same kind of tree growing back there, the little ones. So this is at least a start. This is a starting point from someone who said they believe that this might have been one of the day camps. And if it was, and it turns out that it was Summerdale, I am going to be very happy. Because at least I will have documented where Gene London spent a lot of his time growing up. I have been back here in the past, and I've been trying to figure out locations that look like they'd be suitable for a campground. Like, mostly like flat land, so it's not on a slope or whatever, but that doesn't mean that it was always a slope either, because the ground here has changed quite a bit over the years. So it's not completely easy to just determine just by looking at the lay of the land. So I am back near where I found those little holes that I stuck my camera down into a long time ago, and I presumed that they were the underground dwellings of Blossom Farley. Still have to be investigated just yet, but that will be in cooler weather. But here we can see that there are pieces of cement with river rocks in them, and that's basically what Blossom Farley made the whole place out of: river rocks and cement. So just a little clue as to being in the right place. I did come back here last year and I explored a lot of this area. There's a lot of little clues all over the place, including this little bit of ornamental grass growing there, which as far as I know is not native to just be growing there on its own. So it's been put there, and I assume from what I was looking at last year that this area in front of us, which you can't really see too well, I assume this was a pond at one point, because when I looked at the hand-drawn map of the property, it did list a pond in this area right here. So we'll find out about that too. And of course, how can we not end the video being back in my favorite place of my favorite place? And did you really think that we weren't going to look into the little pond? Come on now, I do it every time. There has been a box turtle in there, and I'm waiting to see him because I'd like to get him out of there because they don't really belong in there. But there was also a little tiny frog in here just recently, and yeah, I don't see him anywhere, unless maybe he's around the other side. Let's see. Nope. He's probably just chilling underwater. May have seen me coming before I saw him. But yeah, that's the life in the pond. You can see it's actually pretty high level, and we haven't had all that much rain lately. But oh well. Anyway, we saw the pond. You know I had to show it. So I think I'm going to wrap this up right here. If this is your first time here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, and then once you do that, hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button. That way it'll keep you in a loop of whenever I upload new videos. Also, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Doing so helps me greatly with the YouTube algorithm. And if you can, throw a comment on there. You know, just say nice video or something, or that video sucks, whatever you want to say. And also, the fundraiser is still going. So for anybody who would like to give to the fundraiser for this garden, you can find the link in the description of this video. If you cannot afford to give to the fundraiser and you'd still like to help, you could always share out the link, and that way somebody might see these videos that actually want to contribute to it, and who can. But even just sharing out the link does wonders. We have gotten quite a bit more money than I ever expected. Not to say that we're rich, but we do have more than enough money to get the bushes and shrubs going that I've been talking about since the beginning. And we also will need to amp up things for the fundraiser as well, because we would like to get at least one bench in here. And the way that having benches in this park work is you have to purchase them. And if you want like a dedication on there, like somebody's name or something like that, it costs a little extra. So we're going to need somewhere between $1,200 to $1,400 just for that. But a bench would look so nice in this place. And just imagine if we got that bench and we could put Robert and Sarah Logan's names on there. maybe even their daughter Deborah, and it would be in memory of them in the last remaining part of their lives, between this and that little tiny building way back there, and that's it. So please do make sure you share out the link for the fundraiser. If you can give, please do. It doesn't matter, $1, $5, $500,000, whatever you want to give is fine. We will accept it all. Once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who continues to watch my videos. You guys rock. You guys have got me up over 700 subscribers now, and I can't even begin to tell you how humbled I am in knowing that there are over 700 people that love watching my videos, or at least like them a little. You guys, again, you all rock. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go home. Today is my dad's birthday, so if you wanna, if you're searching for a comment to put in the comment section, you could just say "Happy Birthday, Dad" or something like that. My dad is 73 years old today, and I plan on spending the rest of the night with him. Hopefully, I won't take up too much time editing this video. Or hopefully I'll be able to edit this video. We'll see. Once I get home and the beers start flowing for Dad's birthday, one never knows what's going to happen. Anyway, thank you all again for joining me. I will see you all on the next one. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.